Hello and welcome to another episode of the MTG Arena Run. Today I was going to continue on with the regular series. I already had the Brazen Coalition, that's the black deck, pirate aggro deck I'm ready to revamp, but then I logged in and saw this interesting thing, Brewer's Delight. So let's take a look at what it is. So it's basically an event where the game will give you a few cards that are not in the meta. It'll have us try to create decks with it. So let's see. So I'm gonna just do this one just to see how well this goes. Maybe it's an examination to see whether it would work or not. So definitely gonna edit the deck, but so it gives us 6 cards. But I have no idea which cards it wants us to brew with. Actually, I'm gonna try to take a look at that splash screen again. Is it okay? Let's discard the changes for now. Let's resume. Let's see what it says. You'll earn up to 6 brewer cards. Oh, so this one's bring your janky brew. So you have to so you choose one of your decks and it'll give you a few extra cards from it. So, you know what? This might be a better time than anything. I'm gonna do an actual competitive constructed, but I'm gonna preview you what the Brazen Coalition deck looks like from right now. So let's get a quick look at what it is. So this one's slightly janky. There are a few mainstays here. So with the changes we've made from the last time is, well, we kept the Daring Buccaneer Rigging Runner package. We've added Fatal Pushes, and we've opted for Shocks. Kept the Dire Fleet Poisoner, kept the Fathom Fleet Captain, kept the Kitesail Freebooters, kept the Dark Fleet Daredevils, added Carrie Zev. She's basically a good beater on her own. Added a few Abrades in addition to Lightning Strikes. So our Fiery Cannonades are now on the sideboard. Added a few Forerunner the Coalitions to tutor up whatever we need. Captain Lanry Storm is there. So our deck is mostly working on the 1, 2, and 3 drop slot. Now, if I could get all 4 copies of Dragon Skull Summit, I would. But for now, I'm opting for this. I would replace one of each basic land with an Arch of Araska. More of a long-term thing. Our sideboard is geared towards gaining more control. So some treasure maps, a few copies of Unlicensed Disintegration. We might get the treasure to get the bonus with it. Usually not, but considering that this is our only removal that's gonna hit a Torrential Gear, well, hit something big like a Scarab God. We probably could use a few of these. That said, we could add a few other artifacts. Like Scrap Heap Scrounger is a good addition. I might actually just sub the Fanatical Firebrands with this guy. Basically, this one will go in against a control matchup because he is just very annoying to deal with. Alternatively, we could add Bomat Courier as well. Actually, you know what? Let's just make that change now. I'm sure we don't get any sideboards here, but it's worth investigating. There's a single copy of Cast down here, extra Abrades, the extra Vraska's Contempt, extra Unlicensed Disintegrations. We could streamline the deck a bit. Another thing I would want to put in is Carrie Zev's Expertise. Let's actually take a look at that. This is a threaten effect that will give us allow us to play one of our 2 mana cost spells, and we do have plenty of them. So that's something I would want to put in the sideboard. So let's actually drop that, and maybe okay, you know what? I'm gonna drop 1 Fatal Push, bring the other Vraska's Contempt in here. Let's just put 2 copies of this here. So, yep, we're definitely still more red, but this is how I would. This is probably a little bit of a better change. So, we're gonna go in with this janky deck. Let's consider this let's consider this a prequel of sorts. I could use one of the other jankier decks, like the ones that the game provides me. I do have a janky zombies deck that I could use, but I already spent a lot of time talking about this. So let's go with it. So I would like to go with white-black zombies as well, but the thing is, it's most of the good ones are black anyway, so I want to go mono black. I guess the good white-black one would be the wayward zombie, the one that you play a zombie, it drains for 1, gives us a little long-term reach. Another thing that we could do also, anyway, so this is a decent opening hand. Let's hope our opponents control. So we're gonna go first. We're gonna try to see if we can strip the hand of the big angry hobo. Now note we don't have a lot of action here outside of these two, so we're hoping. Okay, not much. So we're gonna end the turn there. So we're gonna start stripping our opponent's hand. And sure enough, we're gonna be facing off against these guys, so we're gonna have to start stripping. We can strip down the lightning strike first, then we're gonna strip. Shan. That sounded so bad. We're gonna take out Chandra from the hand. Strip Chandra. That. Many apologies. I and to think that. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so because of this, we can. Yeah, we're now gonna take Chandra away from the hand, so we can actually shock the scrap heap scrounger. And then we're gonna go start beating down with our small clock. So our opponent probably would just go for PNLR. If he has removal of his own, so now's a very good time to do it. Okay, so at least we're getting more removal by the minute. So first thing we're gonna do is hit PNLR, because that pump's gonna be annoying. Now do note that our opponent can rebuy the scrap heap scrounger, so we really don't have enough gas at this point. One more decent pirate would, I almost said zombie, one more decent pirate would do the trick. Okay, so our opponent's actually going for a mono red artifact deck. Okay. So I'm actually going to bolt the Inventor's Apprentice first to make sure he can't crew Heart of Kiran just yet. But we're kind of hurting. As much as I like Kitesail freebooters, I like to be able to do something with it. Okay. Rigging Runner. End the turn. So we can actually now block the scrap heap scroungers. Not that our opponent is going to actually attack with them. He's probably just going to use them to crew Heart of Kiran. So we're looking for one of our braids. So we're gonna take 5 damage off. Take 5 damage on this one. Looks like the big angry hobo might actually win this game. Got the mana, but don't have the threats. Opponent can just, yeah, flying vigilance, very good. So no attacks. So basically what we're doing is holding these guys back. We're just gonna keep taking hits from Kiran Heart of Kiran until we can answer it somehow. Scrap Heap Scrounger is a very good addition. I probably would have played that there. So we are hurting a bit. Our opponent can generate black mana, so the trick is we actually have to wipe all of these. He has a PNLR by sure. Probably means okay, definitely gonna choose blockers. So if he has to run amok or not, I suppose. Okay. I guess he can buy it back again. Kinda a waste though. Yeah, he's gonna have to buy it back again. It's a bit of a waste. Not quite. Still got another Inventor's Apprentice. He's got all the gas he needs. I don't wait. Gain control of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it if it's has convert mana cost of 3 or less. Okay, Heart of Kiran's gonna beat down on me. So that. So we have two options. I can either just plus, keep hitting his life a little bit.
You're just fuel for the fires of freedom.
Or I can take one of his guys right now. He will have to activate this to crew. It just gets sacrificed anyway. Then this guy will swing in back. You know what? Okay, so we're going to take the Scrap Heap Scrounger.
Your crew for my freedom.
I still get to untap it, even if he crews it. So combat. We're gonna just send that in, because it's gonna get sacrificed. Now somehow I do not want to give up any of these Kite Sail freebooters. Giving this up, I might as well, is pretty much certain death for me at this point. So that got exiled. No, that didn't get exiled, that just gets sacrificed, so it's in his graveyard, sort of. Can't be in my graveyard. No, it's definitely in his graveyard. I'm still looking for a decent burn spell. And he's got a third Scrap Heap Scrounger. So it looks like, so for a format where they ask you to bring janky decks, the players here are not playing janky decks. So that's, so keep that in mind. It's not that kind of format. So that's basically a case of expectation versus reality, and this is the reality. So okay, that's quite alright. I'm definitely not gonna block.
You'll be nothing but slack. You'll burn for that.
Rigging Runner. This is not gonna go well. At this rate, the next turn he's just going to... Yeah, this is not good. I'm gonna concede this game at this point. No. He's pretty much got me dead next turn. Simply didn't draw enough gas. So at least we get a few consolation uncommons in the worst case scenario. But that was definitely not a Brewer's Delight. I guess the Brewer's Delight is that they'll just give you a few. They'll just give you a few off meta cards. Not the greatest in the world, but not bad for 250 gold. But you would think that people would embrace the spirit and actually bring a Brewer's Minute deck. Can't complain too much. So we got some action. I could use a little more action, but at least we have 2 colors of mana, so I'm gonna go first already. Opponent mulled 1. So it might be a miracle if our opponent's playing blue and he plays an opt or some sort of instant or sorcery. That's not the case. We do have a Fathom Fleet Captain. I will go with that. Basically, it's going to eat a Fatal Push. Now, I actually need to have another Pirate before I'm going to get the effect. So, at the least, I'm hitting for 2. Or it's going to eat the Burn Spell. Okay, someone's actually embracing it. So he lost 1 from there. Oh, nice combo. So this guy's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. It doesn't have first strike though, so I'm gonna attack anyway, because that's the expected part. The Direfleet Poisoner is not expected, so... But I might actually want to hold back. I actually want to build up an army first. So I'm just gonna play the Direfleet Daredevil. So it's each upkeep. So he's gonna hit me for 3. That's gonna become big and hit for 4. I'm gonna definitely need to play the Direfleet Poisoners eventually. Dauntless Bodyguard is gonna make it hard for me to get past it, but still something. In fact, it might be to my best interest not to let this guy die. Okay. This is interesting. He can actually block with both. Give me a burn spell. Okay, so I pretty much should attack with Darfleet Daredevil and... Okay, there are 2 choices. Because if I attack with Fathom Fleet Captain, he's just gonna double block, he's gonna die anyway. So I'm just gonna send in the Darfleet, but let's encourage him to actually block. So I'm gonna give myself a very big clock. Not the best use of it, but yeah, there. See, it encouraged the block that way. So that's going to sort of open the way for Fathom Fleet in the future. And when this is when it dies, so Vraska's Contempt will limit the life gain a little bit. Okay, that might be a problem, so we're gonna take 5. I could double block, but no, it's just gonna eat that. So, no blocks. Nice thing is I can attack with Fathom Fleet, and it's gonna at least eat the Valiant Knight. So I'm gonna send that in. Pay 2, so definitely gonna leave the black up. So let's see how he decides to block. Thing is, he can double block. It's gonna die. Okay, he chose not to block. So I guess I'm gonna leave this behind as a surprise after all. Okay. So race is quite close, and I'm still undecided on. Definitely gonna take out the Valiant Knight first. If he doesn't hit 5 mana. Let's see. If he hits 5 mana, that's gonna be a problem. And he hit 5 mana. So he can just activate and get double strike. So I am forced to block. This one alone is enough to kill me. Knights you control gain double strike until end of turn. So I don't have a choice here. I have to drop one. I'm gonna force the elimination of the Valiant Knight. So nothing spectacular. He's just gonna spend all 5 mana. Yep. But at least none of these trample over, so that's some good news. And he can't Black Fathom Fleet, so we're gonna do this again. If I can get another mana, so hopefully, preferably black. Okay, Rigging Runner's fine. So I'm gonna go into combat, attack. So I'm generating more blockers now. That's the good news. So no blocks. Now I'm at the point where I don't want this guy to die. So okay, at least give myself a few extra blockers. So end the turn. Again, no rush with the Darfleet Poisoner. Basically, we're hoping to encourage our opponent to play something first, so he can't spend the mana, though it is quite unlikely. Okay, he's now sent the mana in. Okay, he's going to combat. Going to attacks. Now this is only attacking pirates, so I won't be able to combo with this one. He's now sending the entire team, so I will have to drop this. I can actually afford to take 6. So I'm going to force blocks on the Valiant Knight. Throw this token here, so I can actually. Okay, Fatal Push. I can still take 6. Now I have to force blocker, so wait, 6, 12. Yep, that's enough. So I have to block and block. Now the thing is, he's not forced to, because he's spent in Fatal Push, he's not forced to double strike. So he might still have another threat. Knight of Malice. Still won't be able to block this, but he's at 5. 2 force. Okay. I think we got this. a bit skin of our teeth, but we did get this. So it's Darfleet Neckbreaker number 2. Nice. Then the attack for 6. And that was very close. Well, Archjudas, good game. It was a very close one. I kind of had you a little bit, but any change in events would have turned out differently. So I'm gonna claim that one win. So far so good. Brazen Coalition has some hope. I'm starting to think that the the Scrap Heap Scrounger and the License Disintegrations should be up front. One card I actually thought of last night, somehow I forgot, I only remembered now. Metallic Mimic. That should be here. Because this deck has problems with card draw. Yeah. Especially if I go the no rotation route, Metallic Mimic definitely should get in. It's a lot cheaper than Vanquisher's Banner. That said, this is not so great. Turn 2 Daring Buccaneer. But we do have to keep this, because we do have a lot of action, although we're just kind of slow. We can just show the Forerunner and not show the Dire Fleets. So... Actually, you can just do turn 1 Daring into turn 2 Kite Sail. Yeah, we could just show that instead, since I would have played the Kite Sail anyway. So we got that one. I'm gonna play this mana up so that in case our opponent has Censor, kind of a bit of a stretch. Probably gonna just eat a Fatal Push though, that's more likely. So that's it for us. Our opponents probably has a response then at this rate. And blue-black, this combination generally has a lot of responses. He's opting not to use any of them, so I'm suspecting a bunch of cycling cards. Which is actually actually quite good. Cycling was what was the meta combination for blue-black around the time of Amonkhet. So this is no rigging runner, and I would have appreciated this if I actually drew this earlier, but can't complain about everything. Actually, no, I just already complained about everything. What am I saying? Meanwhile, our opponent is doing absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna attack first. See what our opponent's up to. Okay. I definitely want to play this one eventually, but I'm suspecting he's holding a counter spell of sorts, so I'm just gonna drop the Kite Sail Freebooter since he saw this already. We're gonna get something out of his hand, even if it just counters this guy. Hopefully it's a Syncopate for 2, that would be really annoying. Supreme Will, okay, just as annoying too. At least we got that out of the way. But now we're in a position where we should expect our opponent to be playing stuff like Scarab Gods and whatnot. So we're hoping that the Direfleet Poisoners we can sneak in for. We can trade a few good stuff, maybe. Okay, definitely playing that. I'm gonna cast Lanry's Storm just to eat the counter. Or not, so it's probably gonna eat the removal spell. Yep. Not Vraska's Contempt, that's double black. Not Fatal. Can't be cast down. Vicious Offering. Oh, Blink. Oh, okay. Not quite removal. It's not too bad, I suppose. We still have the option. But now we're at the critical position where our opponent is nearing his critical mass of mana. And I'm still wondering what my next game plan is. Although our opponent seemed to stall a bit, so okay, gonna just let's do this again. Opponent probably drew a counter spell this time. That's perfectly fine. We could drop the Direfleet Poisoner now, so that we can get some, not necessarily action, so that we could increase the speed of our clock. But I would much rather do Forerunner first. Opponent's having mana trouble, so I'm gonna work around with that. So definitely Forerunner of the Coalition first. Have that eat a counter spell So basically, I'm trying to eat as many counter spells as possible to clear the way for Angrat. So our opponent just spent 2 disallows and a Supreme Will. He's still hurting for another mana. So, okay, he got his other mana. Probably wanted it to be black. So we're not hurting for mana, but that might be an issue in itself. I could just cast Angrat. Okay, I'm gonna attack first. Because if our opponent spends the mana to deal with this one, should I wait? Okay, if I cast now, I run it into a counter spell. That's gonna be annoying. I'm just gonna end the turn here. Next turn, what I can do is, if he doesn't play anything big, okay, Glimmer of Genius is just card draw. So if he doesn't play anything big like a Scarab God, I'm gonna just drop both of these guys. Then I'm just gonna drop both of these guys and run him through. Actually, no, I probably might do that even if he drops something big. So he's not 6 mana, he's a Torrential Gear Hulk range. So I'm actually gonna be very patient about this. So I'm gonna drop the Kitesail Freebooter first. Since I can afford to cast, I still have mana to cast these two. There's our Torrential Gear Hulk. We'll let that resolve. He's gonna eat a disallow to target the Kitesail, I guess. Yep. So that's perfectly fine. So we're gonna go into combat anyway. This is awfully suspicious, but he has to pull the trigger. That probably means he has another Torrential Gear Hulk. But we also have another Direfleet Poisoner, so it's not too shabby. So he got that one out of the way. He can end the turn there. The Lightning Strike's probably gonna end up on his face. Okay, opponent has to try to cast something. I would suspect a Scarab God. Next turn, try to reanimate Torrential Gear Hulk. So let's see. If he casts Scarab God, he doesn't try to block the Direfleet Poisoners. Goes down to 6. He can go down to 3. He can go down to 1. Maybe. It's a bit of a moment of truth. Entrancing Melody, gain control. Okay, that might even be better because he did not leave up anything for himself. So we essentially countered that. Okay, Fatal Push is a dead card. I'm gonna try Angrat now. He might have a Supreme Will, but so be it. Okay, he does not. So I'm going to start pinging him. It's probably gonna, Angrat's gonna probably eat Vraska, get eaten by Vraska. There's no way for me to say that without without insinuating anything. But let's say it would be amazing if Angrat lasts for more than 1 turn. Now that our opponent's taking a good look at Angrat. Look at all those beefy muscles and whatnot. So it will clear the way for some of our stuff, but we could use some more card draw. Yeah, sure. Take my fatal push. Yep. Kind of figured that was gonna happen. So I'm just gonna cast this now. Get some board presence. Okay, end the turn. I'm gonna try to go for I'm gonna try to go for souped up rigging runner later. Now that said, okay, our opponent is digging for gas, so the position is not so bad. Especially when you consider he's digging for gas now instead of during the end step, because at least in the end step you can fake having something. Here he's just openly revealing, so which is not a bad thing in itself. If you're not very good at playing the pretend game, and it's not easy to do that when you consider that there's no way you can verbally bluff your opponent. We could kind of lie a little bit with this, probably not. So at least we attack, so we will have a good rigging runner. And since the fatal push is not gonna do anything, no life for you. But now we're out of cards, so we are in real trouble. So even though we're at a very big cushion, if our opponent drops something big, we're pretty much done for. That's probably the nature of any aggro deck. You live by your first few turns. You live by the cards in your hand for the most part. You live on the hope that your opponent keeps casting draw spells during his main phase instead of yours. So there's So that said, he is drawn into a lot of removal. I'm expecting another... Oh, search for Escanta. Still, removal is still a possibility. Not much in Fatal Push. So we're gonna go attack. We kind of have to speed the clock up a bit. Though at least our opponent's answering these threats 1:1, so we're... I wouldn't say we're too far behind. We're going to be very far behind as soon as this... as soon as Escanta flips. A little tension in the air. Yeah, we spent a lot of stuff. So we went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We went through 8 pirates. And a planeswalker. Yeah, we were hoping to end the game sooner. That's kind of not gonna happen. A Forerunner would be nice because it will at least guarantee we get a little more gas after that. Comes a question of what kind of gas do we get. Interesting choice we could get is the Direfleet Neckbreaker. Okay, so our opponent is still digging for gas at this stage. After 3 Glimmers of Genius, yeah. Actually, I could check that here. 3 Glimmers of Genius. Looking. Wait, he whiffed? Which is not good news because we whiffed too. And there are no, I don't think I put any Fight with Fires here. Actually, I am kind of wishing for a Fight with Fire right now. So it's got the Vraska's Contempt, so we're basically answering everything 1:1. Opponent burned through this 2 disallows as well, because the other one's in his grave. Actually, he's burned through 3 disallows if you count the rebuy. He got his Primal Amulet. He has a lot, but he's gone through a lot of instants and sorceries along the way. Okay, that's not gonna do it for us. Well, I don't see the point in holding on to this either, but might as well keep it at bay for the time being. Suspecting a few of the stranded cards here are negates. Champion of Wits. Now, somehow with the mana that he has, we are not going to lightning strike this guy. I would much rather deal with the 2/2 over 10 turns than with a 4/4 over the next 5 turns. He's also gonna ditch a few cards as well. Thank goodness he ditched the Golden Demise. Though my deck is way past the point of it being useful. So yeah, you should do this at the end of your turn. Okay, so 4, 5, 7, 8. Yep. We're hurting for gas here. Somehow found a good use for Fatal Push on my own guys. So he's not. Now he's digging. Yeah, we're probably gonna lose this one here. Huh? Okay, he dug himself a disallow. Hold on, I'll be right back. Got a phone call here. Okay, so that was the phone. I'm going to have to leave right after this. So did I lose twice already? That'd be interesting. So I'm gonna play out a few more rounds of this. Though at this point, I don't think I'm getting anything true. I might be able to sneak a few things depending on what he casts. But yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to break this up into 2 parts. Okay, drawing from tomorrow. He's gonna draw 16 cards. I wish he would mill himself. This is a little spite. Okay. Oh no, he can't. He hasn't multiplied it yet. It's gonna take a while. He's gonna discard 1, and yeah, we're definitely gonna lose this game. I just want to see him play an actual threat. Discard Fetid Pools. Well, this one's still quite mainstream control, but he is running a few experimental cards. This is definitely a Brewer style deck. Had a very few interesting takes, like, actually, let's see. This one might not be such a great take. Let's say you doubled it. You're really hoping your opponent has creatures that both share the same converted mana cost. So, okay, yep. Finally, Scarab God makes his appearance. He's gonna start buying back my stuff. He's gonna disallow, so Fight with Fire is not gonna get through. Even if I had it, I never put in the deck. I probably should have. It's definitely one of those interesting control finishers, because over time you are going to draw a lot of these lands. So he's dropped the Essence Scatter. Yep, I'm definitely flooded. Good game. Nice. I gotta go, so take care. Okay. Well, at least they fixed the concede glitch, I think. So I'm not too worried about conceding on my opponent. I'm not too worried about causing my opponent to hang. Okay, so I'm gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna play one more game. If it's a control match, I'm gonna just ditch it at this point. If I win it, I guess I could pause it, but I don't like the idea. Yeah, I guess I can pause the stream. Yuck. You know what? I said I wouldn't mind the third loss anyway, so Okay, so this is the best greed possible. This the best greed possible solution of keeping a one-lander. Like, if there's any deck and any hand that would facilitate keeping a one-lander, it would have been this one. And I'm gonna show you why it's such a bad idea. So as you see, we sometimes you don't get penalized for it. We would have been able to, like, lightning strike, for example. Sometimes you just get penalized really badly. And sometimes your opponent just casts a Bowmat Courier. So at least we can hold off the board until he casts Shock. If I get the black mana source, I'm definitely gonna cast Kitesail Freebooter. Because this form of the decks lives off the... So I'm gonna start swinging here. Okay, so he's gonna take the damage. I am not gonna lightning strike. I'm not gonna even... I could save the Dire Fleet, but no, I'm just gonna cast the Dire Fleet now. Basically, having a few first strike guys is great. So... Again, this one is super greedy. I am expecting to lose this one. But let's just consider this as, how do you say this? Yeah, a learning lesson. Why not to give in to greed? I think the greediest I would personally keep would be 2 lands, and even then I would have to try to justify to myself, and hate myself for it afterwards. So at least we can. So we lose the. Okay, so we lose our first striker. We're gonna take 2 on the crackback. We can at least lightning strike Chain Whirler. So we can race like this, and we're going to have to goblin strike, lightning strike the Chain Whirler because. And oh look, because it's a non-combat damage, Rigging Runner lost his counter. This is a really bad race now. And what are the odds? And considering that, okay, that our next we are more red heavy, I won't be surprised if our next land is gonna be red again. We're minus these 2, we're still at a 50-50 chance. If the game wants to spite me, it'll give me an Arch of Araska. Well, no, didn't spite me that badly. I'm gonna have to hold Rigging Runner back though. So let's just bolt PNLR, get her out of the way. So I'm basically trying to make sure our opponent doesn't get too much card advantage of Bowmat Courier. No, it's decks like these that I really wish that we got the allied color fast lands again. Historically, those are the ones from Scars from Mirrodin. They came in allied colors. The black-red one was called Blackcleave Cliffs, which is geography specific. But if there's any deck that would really want these, maybe even more over the Dragon Skull Summits, it's that. So definitely gonna take that. He's gonna pump cards into this. I'm gonna block this one just to force him to sacrifice it. So, but if you're willing to attack with this, you're signaling that any 3 cards are better than the 4 cards you have in hand. Or you have a burn spell. Not quite a burn spell. it's also possible that you didn't really care about the cards at all. You just wanted to get damage in. So let's show our opponent how bad our situation is. So now so at least this way we're at the negative. We're basically at the 12 turn clock. I have to hold these guys back to hold these guys back. I guess I could start swinging. Because this guy can trade with one of these two anyway. It's not too bad. But I am hurting. But I am hurting for a black mana source. If this were a mono red deck, I would be just hurting for gas. No, if this were a mono deck, I wouldn't be hurting for gas. I'd have been able to cast any of these guys too. That might be a problem. So I'm definitely not blocking Soulscar Mage.
When people start screaming, I know I'm on track.
Yeah. So at least this one's a lesson that Brewer's Delight is not for brewers. The rewards you get are for brewers, but the format itself, no. Okay. So now I'm in the position where I have to start hitting Chandra, at least to avoid the -3. At least I can.
Hey, watch, you will regret this.
Okay, keep complaining. Then again, I guess I should apologize for making the inadvertent innuendo about you and Kite Self Rebooter. Okay, Goblin Chain Whirler, so I lose this one shrinks, this one shrinks. Bad times. And we're gonna go down to 4. So I will go down to 3, go down to 2. Okay. Yeah, I have to at least go down to 3. If I go down to 2, I auto die to Chandra. And nope, that's it. So boys and girls, this is a lesson. Don't be too greedy with the hands you keep. So I'm gonna give my opponent the satisfaction of satisfaction of taking me down. However, but not too long because I really have to go. Don't worry, this is not going to replace the actual video. I am going to go competitive constructed with this deck. Maybe I will do a few more additional tweaks. Definitely the Metallic Mimic for starters. Okay, so take the hit like a champ. Actually, just take the hit because it has first strike. So that is it. So that's basically what Brewer's Delight looks like. And nobody brings a janky brew. I guess we have to consider that there is no way to enforce what people will bring. So let's see what kind of, well, not too janky. There are some janky decks around this, but it's not too bad. Anyway, so that's just basically a quick run. So if you like, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching this episode. If you liked what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope to hear from you guys soon. Maybe just a quick question: how exactly would you have envisioned Brewer's Delight? Maybe if the game gives you some cards and forces you to build around that, perhaps, so that we don't run into a lot of non-brewer decks, perhaps. That's probably my opinion. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Apologize for the delays.